What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome to Not Your Average Meta, an MTG Commander channel dedicated to bringing you decks and commanders you wouldn't normally find in your average meta. This week's video is brought to you by our new channel sponsor, International MTG. If you're looking for competitive pricing on your favorite MTG cards, old and new, be sure to check out the International MTG store and TCG Player, link in the description of this video. This week on Not Your Average Meta, we're bringing you another exciting game we filmed down at the Hobby Horse in Taylorville, Illinois. We'd also like to shout out our second full-time channel sponsor for Season 3, the Hobby Horse. If you're ever in the central Illinois area, be sure to stop in and check out the store as well as saying hi to Ardenn. This week's matchup features CJ making another appearance on the channel, playing Atla Palani Nest Tender, Gavin back this week playing his partner commanders Ardenn Intrepid Archaeologist and Silas Renn Seeker Adept, Fog Raw back playing his mono green morph deck being led by Ruxa Patient Professor, and finally Justin also returning playing the Scarab God. Now leave our fighters, let's step into the Thunderdome and see which deck will come out on top. Turn 1, Gavin plays a Tap Sunken Hollow, Fog plays a Forest, Justin plays a Swamp, and CJ also plays a Forest. Gavin plays a Bright Climb Pathway, then pays to cast an Ethereum Sculptor. Fog plays another Forest Return. Justin plays an Unholy Grotto, then pays 2 to cast a Dreadhorde Invasion. CJ plays a Reliquary Tower, then pays to cast a Thought Vessel. Gavin casts a Ponder, then looks at the top 3 cards of his library before putting 2 of them back and drawing a card. He then casts a Felwar Stone and then follows it with an Arcane Signet. Fog plays another Forest, then pays to cast a face-down Morph Creature. On his upkeep, Justin loses a life, amasses an army, and then draws for turn. He then plays a tapped Temple of Deceit, scrying 1 card, keeping it on top of his library. He then casts a Waste Knot. CJ draws and casts a Harrow, sacking his Force to go get 2 basic lands to put into play. He then casts Barrage of Expendables and passes. Gavin casts Shram Senior Edificer, then pays to also cast his commander, Silas Renn. Fog plays a Forest, then pays 3 to cast another Morph Creature. On his upkeep, Justin loses a life, amasses 1, and then draws for turn. He then plays a Swamp for turn before paying to cast a Greed. CJ draws and passes. Gavin casts Sigarda's Aid before also casting a Bloodforged Battle Axe, which he then equips to his commander for free. Gavin then goes to combat, swinging his commander at CJ for 4 commander damage, which creates him a copy of his Battle Axe. He then also equips this to his commander. Fog plays a Forest, then casts his commander Ruxa. He then goes to combat, swinging 3 damage at Gavin. On his upkeep, Justin loses a life, amasses 1, and then draws for turn. He then plays another Swamp before casting his commander, the Scarab God. CJ draws and casts Phyrexian Altar. Gavin casts a Sword of War and Peace, which he then equips to his commander. He then draws and plays a Planch for turn. Gavin then plays a Lion Sash and casts Open the Armory, going to get a Sword of Hearth and Home from his library. He then equips the sword to his commander before swinging him at Fog for 10 commander damage. This then has Gavin creating another Battle Axe and also triggers the Swords, which has Fog losing 5 life while he gains 6 life. Blinks his Shram, and then gets a land out of his library. Fog plays a Zoetic Cavern before casting another Morph Creature. He then goes to combat, swinging 3 damage at Gavin. On his upkeep, Justin loses a life and amasses 1. Each of his opponents then lose a life while he scries 1, and then he draws for turn. He then plays a tapped Choked Estuary before paying 2 life to draw a card. CJ draws and casts a Farseek to go get a land from his library. Gavin casts a Pure Steel Paladin and then a Mystic Remora. He then goes to combat, swinging his commander Justin, who responds by casting a Murderous Rider to destroy Silas Renn. Gavin then casts a Batterskull and draws a card. Fog casts 2 more Morph Creatures, then goes to combat, swinging 9 damage at Gavin. On his upkeep, Justin loses a life and amasses 1. Each of his opponents then lose a life while he scries 1 and then draws a card. He then casts Liliana's Mastery, which puts 2 2/2 zombie tokens into play under his control. CJ plays a Mountain for turn, then pays 5 for a Doubling Season. On his upkeep, Gavin lets his Remora die before playing a land for turn. He then casts Talisman of Dominance, drawing a card. He then casts his other commander, Ardenn, before going to combat, which has him attaching all of his equipments to Ardenn. Gavin then casts a Sword of the Animus, equipping it to his commander, and draws a card. Fog casts Harmonize in order to draw 3 cards. He then goes to combat swinging one creature at CJ for 3 damage. On his upkeep, Justin loses a life and amasses 1. Each of his opponents then lose 3 life while he scries 3 and draws for turn. He then plays a swamp for turn and casts a Fleshbag Marauder, which has each player sacrificing a creature. Justin then casts a Gravecrawler and passes. CJ draws and finally has enough lands to cast his commander, Atla Palani. Gavin casts an Armored Skyhunter, then goes to combat, attaching his Battle Skull to his commander. He then swings his commander, Justin, who blocks with his Marauder. Gavin then goes to find land from his library while he gains 17 life. Fog plays a Forest and pays the Megamorph as Inox Survivalist in order to destroy Gavin's Sword of Hearth and Home. He then casts another Morph creature and passes. On his upkeep, Justin loses a life and amasses 1. Each of his opponents then lose 3 life while he scries 3 again and then draws for turn. He then plays a Drowned Catacomb for turn before casting a Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Each of his opponents then lose 9 life each while he gains 27 life. CJ plays a Force for turn that pays to use his commander in order to create 2 egg tokens. He then sacks an egg to his altar in order to reveal a Goring Ceratops off the top of his library, putting it into play. CJ then sacks his other egg in order to cast Natural Order, going to get a green creature to put into play from his library. Gavin casts a Sword of Sinew and Steel, drawing a card, before Justin counters it with a Sinister Sabotage, which has Justin then surveilling 1 card. Gavin then casts a Steel Shaper's Gift in order to go get a Colossus Hammer from his library. He then casts a hammer, equipping it to his commander and drawing a card. Gavin then casts a Fire Shrieker and draws another card. He then casts a Mox Opal and goes to combat swinging his commander at Fog. Fog then responds by morphing his Brood Hatch and Tuco in order to block Gavin's commander. Gavin then gains 25 life while Fog creates 25 insect tokens. He then casts a Sun Titan in order to bring his swords back to his hand before recasting it and casting a Sword of Feast and Famine. Fog recasts his commander, then goes to combat, swinging his 25 insects at Justin, while he also swings his other 4 creatures at Gavin. Gavin then blocks one of Fog's creatures but still takes the 12 damage, while Justin gets taken out of the game. Fog then casts a Rampant Growth and passes. CJ pays to create 2 more egg tokens before casting a Forerunner of the Empire, going to find a dinosaur to put on top of his library. He then sacks an egg in order to put his Apex Altosaur into play. With his fight trigger on the stack, CJ then casts Sheltering Light in order to make his Altosaur indestructible. This then allows him to fight each of Gavin's creatures, wiping the board of all but 1 creature. He then goes to combat, swinging 2 of his dinosaurs at Gavin, who blocks one of them and still takes 10 damage. CJ then whips on his Gishath trigger and he passes. Gavin plays a land for turn to recast his commander Ardenn. He then goes to combat, equipping all of his equipments to his Sun Titan, before then swinging him at CJ to take him out of the game. He then gains a ton of life, and recasts Shram before casting a Shadow Spear, drawing a card. He then casts an additional 2 swords and draws 2 more cards before passing turn. Fog draws for turn but doesn't find what he's looking for, so he scoops the game up to Gavin.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can see more games and decks you wouldn't normally see in your average meta.